All right, Madhuri Dixit is with me in the house. So what more can I say? And ably flanked by a very, very fresh talent, very impressive performers. This is Lakshvir and Muskaan. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me on the broadcast. I mean, it's a live stream, it's a stream, but we're so used to calling it a broadcast because as news journalists, that we have to still get in sync with the web ways. Madhuri, was it easy for you when you made that transition? Because everybody is talking about your OTT debut.
I think, acting is acting. Whether you're acting on a big screen or you're acting on a reality show or when you are here, on the OTT platform. Because the art doesn't change, right? The craft doesn't change. The storytelling changes. Say when you do a film, it is just a 2-hour film, but when you're doing something for OTT, it's like 8 episodes, and you have plenty time to develop the characters, not just your own, but also the characters around you who have their own backstories, and then you know where they're coming from, and the whole interaction kind of changes, and it becomes, you can create this world that you can suck people into, like the fame game. We are just hoping that people will get attracted to our world and come into it and live it with us.
Oh, absolutely. I was attracted when I watched the 4 episodes. I was like, my God, what is going to happen next? I mean, that is something. I mean, obviously, we're not talking about any spoilers today,
Right.
but that is the kind of impact as a viewer that it had on me. I binge watched it only last night because I had to do this interview. So I really wanted to know what am I in for.
Right.
But, Muskaan and Lakshvir, I mean, you guys have really impressed me. Like, I have obviously, this is my first reference when it comes to, as an audience, of your body of work. You have Madhuri Dixit, the gorgeous Madhuri Dixit playing your mother. So, what are the kind of learning sessions that were probably happening while on the set, while you guys were, doing your lines together, performing together? What was it like on the sets of the Fame Game?
Yeah, me this time?
Go for
cool.
it.
I think what was really amazing to witness was, first of all, that when she came on set, she was absolutely prepared, and everything was about the work. It was about the scene, it was about the characters, it was about the moment and the situation. I think as a co-actor, that there's nothing more you can ask for than that someone who's prepared and who's come in. And the fact that I say that as my first thing about her, I think speaks volumes of amount of work she's put in.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was really nice to see. And one another thing that I was really, really impressed by was the punctuality. I mean, that's something that I'm learning for sure. Not that I was not punctual, but like just no matter what, how much work one does, no matter how much fame one gets, punctuality is important, and that's what she's taught me for sure.
Okay. And Muskaan?
Yeah, she's an excellent human being, and that is the biggest takeaway that I will always remember, that no matter fame, game happens, everything happens, but you're a good human being. And she's really helped all of us perform the best. We were actually feeling like a family when we were on the set. But the one thing I've really, really learned from her is how she performs with her her finger, like with her whole body. It's like a dance, and how you can add to your performances with the help of little things like that. And even with her eyes, like, I mean, that's one thing that I really understood, that without saying anything, how can you express millions of words? But yeah, it's been an unreal experience, quite honestly.
And Madhuri, since we are on Muskaan, I mean, there is a little reference in that entire show. Again, not giving away anything, but there is something that she performs of your film in the Fame Game.
Yes.
How many numbers will you give Muskaan? Her performance. What was it like? I mean, without any bias, just tell me.
Well, the thing is that no, I don't know if I can say this, but she is a terrific actress to begin with. I'll tell you that. She's terrific. And some of the scenes she's done are amazing. Like, I was taken aback, and there's one scene where she literally made me cry, even after the cut, and it just, that feeling wouldn't go away, and I had to go and hug her. After having said that, for that particular part, she has to do a bad job of it. She has to botch it up. And being a good actress, and to actually botch it up, which she's supposed to do. So she has to unact in that one sequence.
Yeah.
I give her full marks for that she unacted and she did her worst possible. So because she did her worst possible, I give her 2 marks. But because she did it so well, I give her 10 marks. 10 out
My
of
God,
10.
I mean,
The
that was
art of
wow.
answering a question.
It is like very tricky. That question was very tricky for me.
It was a tricky
Wow,
People have to watch that scene to know what I'm saying.
You were,
Actually, and as a viewer, if that was worse, best क्या होगा मैं ये सोच रही हूँ.
you were talking about learning, right? This is the learning is still going on. I'm just learning how to answer questions.
Oh my God. And talking about learning, Madhuri always says that she is a constant student of cinema. She is constantly learning. So you must have learned something from these two youngsters.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, you should hear them talk about acting. And if I put myself in their shoes, where they are right now in their lives, I didn't know even 1/4 of the things that they know. And I remember I used to go on the sets. I learned as I worked, right? Because I was not a student of cinema. I was not into acting, or I had not taken any training. So I had to learn in front of the camera. So every time I went on the shoot was like, I have to do this in the best possible way, and I'm going to say this line like that, and all that determination. But these guys know much more, the subtleties, how to approach a scene. Maybe because you're students of cinema and you both have, experience on stage, and you have come from that background. So I learn a lot from them too, because when they're talking about the shot, or they're asking the director, should I do this the way, that way, or when I see any of their scenes and I say, oh my God, she approached it in a different way. Maybe I would have done this, but she's done it, in a different way, and that's very fascinating for me. So lots of things we get to learn from each other.
The Fame game talks about taking a deep dive into the follies of fame, so to speak. Since you have seen stardom, that fame that we're talking about, Madhuri Dixit, was an enigma back then. She still remains one, and that's why I said that all the headlines are screaming about your OTT debut. Has there been, in your juncture of your career, has there been a phase in your career where you possibly would have had to take a very, very tough decision? You skirted through it or probably sailed through it. Has there been that juncture for you as an
No,
actor?
I think every decision I have made in my life is because I wanted to do it. Not because, oh, maybe I should be doing this at this point in my career. Nothing like that. I just lived life. So when I was working, I met the right person. I thought, I want to marry this guy. I married. I had kids. I enjoyed that whole phase. So I think I have done everything with conviction in my life. Nothing was half-hearted, or nothing was pretentious in any way. If I give someone a compliment, it's because I really feel that way. So for me, everything I did in my life was very naturally. It came to me very naturally. So, but with Anamika Anand and her life, everything is not as it seems. She's a very mysterious person, and the kind of life she's had is very different from me. Anamika Anand was not very protected. I was extremely, my parents were protective of me. Her dynamics with her family is very different from what I share with my family as a wife, or as a daughter, as a mother. I think it's very, very different. So these are two different lives we are talking about. And the only common factor between us is that, we are in this industry, and she has seen a lot of fame, and so have I. So she treats fame in a very different way than I do.
Okay, the Fame game essentially has a lot of conversations that it will start or probably add depth to, because there are these conversations which are already there. Whether it is about the conversation about choice, the importance of choice, whether it is about infidelity, homosexuality, where do you think this will cut to as far as the audiences are concerned? And anybody can take this question. Lakshvir, Muskaan, happy to chip in.
I hope as wide as possible. I mean, that's the idea, because the more people talk about it, I think conversation is key to everything, I believe. And I think that should be the idea. So the more people watch the show, word of mouth is always great. So let's ask people to watch it. Let's ask people what they think about it. Let's ask people what they have to say on whatever the show is talking about. And I think that will solve many of the issues.
Okay. And Madhuri and Muskaan, would
Well,
you like
I
to
think
take
it
that?
should start a whole lot of conversation. And that's very important. Because it's important to talk about it. It's important to make people aware, and it's important to show it in a very real way, not giving it any labels or anything of that sort. And like I said, start a conversation.
This is the first time that you are working with Bijoy and Karishma. I mean, it's a cliche question, but there has to be something that was really, really impactful when the script came to you that led you to say, or probably jump out and say that, yes, I'm doing this. What was that moment for you, Madhuri?
Well, Sriram and me were going to work on a different project at some point, but didn't work out. And he came to me with this subject and he said, this is what I want to make. And I thought the character of Anamika Anand was very fascinating because it's something very different from me. And yet, being in this industry, you've heard so many things about, the experiences others have had, people have had. And so you kind of, And what I liked about it, I love mysteries. I just love mysteries. And there's a lot of mystery in this show. There's a lot of, peekaboo, behind the curtain kind of a thing. Her life, which is seemingly perfect, and one day she just disappears and everything kind of comes tumbling out as to what actually went on behind the scenes. So I think all that was very fascinating to me. I have a lot of respect for Sri Rao and the way he's written the script. Of course, directors Karishma Kohli and Bijoy, both of them are very, very good in their own ways. And I thought it was great that there are two directors and a showrunner. And, that's how this industry works in OTT. Also, Netflix, I've had very good experience with them. My first Marathi film that I did, 15 August, was sold to Netflix. I had dubbed for the voice of Mowgli's mom for them in their Mowgli, the movie. And so I thought it was a great combination. Of course, Dramatics was going to produce it, so it all kind of fell into place. And I thought the universe that Sri Rao created through this was very enigmatic. It was like it's very attractive also, and yet you feel that something is not right. And I just liked that. I thought it was a very different feel.
Okay, now guys, Lakshvir and Muskaan, you guys are Gen Z. Please rate Madhuri Dixit on her social media skills and the kind of update that she's been putting on social media. She's a rage, man.
One topic that we can talk a lot about.
Yes.
She is 1,000 times better than me. I mean, I thought, I have figured Instagram. I've understood ki kya karna hai, kya nahi karna hai. But I see her and I was like, bhai, main kuch nahi kar raha hu. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing 5% of, and it's, if we talk about fame and fame game, it's me who requires some fame.
Lacking the fame.
Be out there and do something. And she's everywhere already and she's still doing so much and I'm not doing anything. So I think that is, it's insane. Her Instagram profile, it's so good. I follow it
so much fun.
And I literally like everything, and it's amazing.
Thank you.
Like she's following all the trends. She's like on top of everything. It's amazing.
I also DM'd, but she didn't reply. मैंने एक बार किया था.
क्या बात कर रहे हो?
हाँ, फिर से करो. इतने सारे
फिर
मैसेजेस
फिर उसका लिंक क्लिक करके भेज दो मैम को.
Yeah, do that.
अभी मैं
Verified नहीं
करूँगा.
है ना, हम वो टिक नहीं है.
मैं रोज भेजूंगा. Good morning.
So, I mean, since Muskaan mentioned about the trends that you're hopping onto, the latest trend, everybody is talking about it because people got to relive. There was a throwback imagery of Madhuri Dixit and her iconic performances. That is something that I loved. I mean, I would have probably, would wanted to go dive deep and say, oh my God, these are performances that everybody really loves. I would like to take this opportunity to ask you, Madhuri, and also Muskaan and Lakshmi there, what is your favorite so far in the performances that you portrayed on screen? Which one has been your favorite?
Start with you.
I can start this one for sure.
Oh,
Great.
Because undoubtedly, because I've seen the whole process as well, and I've seen her. I have so many scenes with her. I didn't see her make a single mistake. It's unbelievable. Like even in the shots.
I think he's exaggerating.
No.
अभी थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा हो गया.
एक बताता हूँ कब आपने करा कोई genuinely नहीं किया. I mean, when we were taking more takes, it was about, maybe we should try this and try this variation and see how it works. But in general, there was a moment when she was supposed to throw some plates and her finger got cut, and I thought, oh, bhai, this is going to be a big deal. In 2 minutes, next take, and she was on it and she was working around it. I mean, that's insane. Like, I mean, I would have cried if I cut my finger.
Oh my God.
I would like, nahi, bhaiya, ruko, 1 second, bandage kahan hai, वैसा.
मैं बराबर I didn't पाल पोसा नहीं ठीक से मैंने आपको. हाँ, I didn't give them good values. ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. अगर तुम मेरे बेटे हो तो बिल्कुल रोना नहीं चाहिए.
But which one's your favorite Madhuri Dixit performance, Lakshvi?
Which is your favorite performance?
I have to say Devdas.
I was going to say exactly that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Don't ask me. They're all my babies and they're all my creations. So it's hard to choose one.
But there has to be one which is very close to your heart.
No, it's. I think I can say the character which comes closest to being what I am in real life is Nisha's character in Hum Aapke Hain Kaun. I think that's maybe the kind of person I am. The closest, and everything else is like, of course, we are playing characters, and you get into the skin of it, and like Chandramukhi, I think it was a beautiful character. Unrequited love and everything, and so I think that was beautiful. But I don't know; it's very hard to choose. It's hard.
I mean, probably Nisha. I mean, good you mentioned Nisha because that's one of the watershed moments of Indian cinema, and Nisha probably playing Nisha because जब लोग आपको देख रहे थे तो वो इतनी smile कर रहे थे तो playing Nisha would be probably a constant smile for you also because it looked like that on screen, you know.
Yeah.
So that's something that everybody would love.
Also,
but I also love this. Yeah.
Also, I think I liked playing my character in Mrityudan, Ketki, because at that point in my career, because commercial cinema, art cinema, and all that. So people were saying, why are you doing this film? It's an art movie. Prakash Jha is an art. I said, it doesn't matter. I love the character. It doesn't matter whether I'm from commercial cinema or from which cinema. It's art for me, and I want to do it. And that I was very stubborn, and I did that movie. And I'm glad I did because he did a brilliant job, Prakash Jha, and I love that movie.
Do you think that conversation, keeps recurring while you decided to actually dive into the web space? Do you think you're getting similar questions or people are, sort of okay with that transition from cinema
to
web?
No, like I said, content is everywhere. It's the big screen, it's the smaller screen, it's your iPad, it's your phone, smartphones, it's up to people how they want to consume the content. And whether it's big screen or it's OTT or any other platform, the art and the craft is the same, and I don't see anything big or small or good or bad in it. I think it's just beautiful when you can create stories you want to tell the way you want to tell them, and people can see what all art is out there, and you reach so many people. It's crazy. 190 countries or so. Your audience is like huge. Also, it's dubbed in different languages. So I'm fascinated to see myself speak in Spanish, or German or something like that. It'll be fun to see.
Yeah. And talking about your body of work, Madhuri, of course, you're reuniting with Sanjay. That has to be something because you guys are setting dance floor on fire, reliving that entire moment, whether it is Akhiyan Milao, whether it is Raja, Nazre Mili, all of that. Yeah, nostalgia has been surging,
Yeah, I mean, it's great because, I met Sanjay again because of this series that we worked on together, and we interacted after a long time after Mohabbat. We met on and off, but not like this, sitting on the set talking about everything. So it was great, and he was there, and we thought, hey, let's do that, and we were just dancing and having fun, basically, on my on Ram's birthday. So it was a nice moment. It was great.
One of the ace choreographers of Indian cinema feel that, Dr. Nene is giving you a stiff competition with his Atrangi dance move. How do you rate him on his dance moves?
Well, he's great. I mean, he's someone who's gregarious, who loves life, who lives life. And I think I have seen a lot of things because of him, which I could never do when I was working, because I was working all the time. And people said, "How did you?" I said, I lived life when I was in Denver, which I didn't out here. Out here, it was just work, 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 work. And when I went there, I actually lived life. I did crazy things with him. So yeah, I mean, he's fabulous on the dance floor as well.
Okay, before I wrap this, I have last three questions, and I want you guys to actually, have your fun elements on. This is a segment that I'd like you to actually point fingers at the other person on who is most likely to have had this experience. You're most likely to do this. I'll give certain instances and just point at the person who you think will most likely have had this kind of an experience in life.
Okay.
या फिर वो ऐसा कर सकते हैं. Okay?
ठीक है.
The first one is, who is most likely to have been starstruck on their own shoot set? Starstruck.
I don't know.
Why मुस्कान साहब मुस्कान की तरफ क्यों पॉइंट कर रहे हैं?
मतलब क्या है?
किससे starstruck हुए मुस्कान?
I thought this was just a pointing finger around. I'm sorry.
I was very starstruck by
I thought
ma'am,
I'm
no
just going to
doubt.
point a finger and
No
get away
doubt.
with it.
So it's like you look into the mirror and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm so beautiful."
Me?
Wow. That's...
No.
Muskaan gets starstruck by herself.
I don't know. I was starstruck by
Looks at
ma'am.
herself and she's like, wow, oh my God, who's such a big fan.
No. No. Wrong answer.
माधुरी कभी भी ऐसा नहीं हुआ that initially early on in your career probably you were fascinated by someone on your shoot set? Never happened.
Well, no, I don't think it ever happened with me. I don't know. Maybe once when I had met Dilip Saab, I was tongue-tied because I used to love his movies. And then once when I had met Mr. Bachchan, I was a little tongue-tied. I didn't know what to say to him. But that's about it, Otherwise...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is most likely to goof around on the sets? Most likely to.
I think
All of us.
I can see it.
I can point at myself also. And then
Yeah, I was going to say that.
all three of us do this.
Yeah.
ये माँ बिगाड़ रही है अपने बच्चों को is what I'm saying.
Yes, mom is spoiling the kids.
All right. Most likely to write a love letter, school, college, and send it out to. Most likely to. Who
मुझे
could
ऐसा
that
लगता है secretly.
Same. Very much.
ये अब सब
Very much
कह रहे हैं,
likely.
तो if everyone's saying it, then I just have to accept it.
be? My God, I just called you Gen Z. Do you guys still believe in writing love letters?
I'm
With
very old
same
school.
timing?
I'm also very
I
old.
honestly,
Gen Z नहीं है, Gen A. मतलब क्या करूँ? पीछे जाना पड़ेगा बहुत. Because he is. I don't think he's Gen Z. He's
I'm
old
very
soul.
old school. मेरे को लगता है मैं गलत decade में पैदा हुआ. I should have. Yeah, मेरे को बहुत पहले पैदा होना चाहिए था.
He's the Dilip Saab types.
Mysterious.
Yes.
And
Wow.
He's like brooding, that kind, right?
Okay.
Right?
Most likely to
That's a
receive a love
compliment.
letter. Madhuri never received a love letter.
Me? Yeah.
Thousands, millions.
Not fans, admirers, not fans.
Yeah,
Fans to be
admirers,
king.
yeah.
Okay, all right. This is the last two that I have. Most likely to make a fool of himself or herself in front of anyone or in front of someone that they like or admire. Complete fool. Who's most likely to do that?
it me. It always be.
In a cute way, though.
In a cute
It's
way. In a
her
cute
technique.
way.
Like she does this, and suddenly everyone falls in love with her, and that's it.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay.
He talks about
All
it
right.
as like a fame game. And she plays game. She does this and then
Yes.
she this.
Okay, last one. Who's the best singer of the lot?
Oh, that's difficult.
Him,
हाँ?
her.
मैं तो बिल्कुल नहीं.
What rubbish.
You can also
Sang so
sing.
well.
Yeah, but not compared to her. She's
So well.
Oh, you
And
sing
I
well?
sing too.
Wow.
It's a very singing family.
We're very art inclined,
I
all
know.
of us.
Yeah, Madhuri though I know, but I'm amazed. Yeah, Muskaan, you sing well. Please give us some kind of this thing, na?
Come on,
Diva?
she has her own style of singing, which is amazing, very unique.
yes.
Come on.
Go
What
for
are you
it.
singing?
एक
Muskaan?
दो तीन चार पाँच छः सात आठ नौ 10 11 12 13 तेरा करूं टिक 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 तेरा करूं दिन गिन गिन के इंतजार आजा पिया आई बहार.
Wow, join in, guys. Come on, join in. Madhuri is a
I
great
can't
singer.
spoil this.
That's
Yeah,
it.
it's so beautiful.
Come on, that's This is so cool. You
Thank
deserve a
you.
clap. So cool.
Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you so much, guys, for doing this, and
was fun.
all the best for the Fame game. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.